Opening statements could begin next week in former President Trump's hush money trial. That's after 7 jurors were selected yesterday, including a teacher, a nurse, and a software engineer. And then there was this dramatic moment that played out as the judge warned Mr. Trump not to intimidate potential jurors.
After court, Trump made a, campaign stop at a bodega to talk about crime. Eyewitness News reporter Phil Taitt joins us live outside of Trump Tower, where the former president is spending the day in meetings today. Phil, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Michelle. The former president actually just walked out of Trump Tower just moments ago. Let's talk about this criminal trial now. 7 of the 12 jurors have officially been selected. We're still not all the way there as of yet, but we do know, as for those who have been selected, it will include 3 women, a teacher, a software designer at Disney, and an oncology nurse. Now, the 4 men include the 4-person who was born in Ireland and works in sales, 2 attorneys, and an IT consultant. Now, more than 90 people from the original pool were dismissed, and we spoke with some of the potential jurors moments after they left the courtroom.
You know, being from Texas, I feel like I have unconscious bias, even though I may not agree at some times. Just wanted to make sure this case was presented in the best possible place. And I don't know if I can set that unconscious bias aside.
I don't like him. I don't approve of what he did as president, but the right to a fair trial is extremely important. And if this would serve to uphold that, then that would be my priority.
An hours-long process. Now, during the questioning of one potential juror, Trump could be heard muttering. The judge said, quote, in the direction of a juror, Judge Juan Merchan told the former president, I will not tolerate that. I will not have any jurors intimidated in this courtroom. Now, after Trump left court, he made something of a campaign stop at a Hamilton Heights bodega where a clerk fatally stabbed someone during a confrontation in 2022. Well, Trump chose the location to spotlight violent crime in New York City and gave his take.
You have to stop crime, and we're going to let the police do their job. They have to be given back their authority. I love this city, and it's gone so bad in the last 4 years, and we're going to straighten New York out.
And Trump is expected to have dinner with the president of Poland. That will happen this evening. Jury selections will resume tomorrow. That's the latest in Midtown. I'm Phil Taitt, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.